In poker, a shark is a great player. You can imagine him roving the waters of the deep, just waiting to sink his teeth into a bunch of fish. Fish, of course, are bad players. We also call bad players donkeys sometimes, and there's a special move named after the donkey. It's called the Donk Bet, or donkey bet. It's a bet on the flop by a bad player who doesn't have the lead from the pre-flop betting. Let's work through an example to show the mechanics of the donk bet. Let's say our villain is in the hijack and we're seated in the small blind. We get dealt king 10 of clubs. It's a good hand for the small blind. The blinds are 50 and 100. Our opponent raises 3 times the big blind. It folds to us, and we decide to call. It's a reasonable call. The pot on the flop, or going to the flop, is 700, and the dealer deals 2 king 5. It's a fantastic flop for us. It's dry. We flopped top pair. So what do? Well, notice, we don't have the pre-flop lead. We just smooth called the raise. We're out of position, and action is on us. We have the opportunity to make a big mistake and donkey bet. And that's what we do. We put in 300 chips, slightly less than half the pot, and our opponent wisely folds. So why is the move so bad? Well, it's a terrible move, especially considering that we have top pair and a decent kicker. There's 3 reasons it's terrible. First, we eliminate the chance that our opponent c-bets. A c-bet is a continuation bet by our opponent who has the lead, whether he has a hand or not. So we can almost guarantee that if we check to him, he will bet. Boom, we just won an extra bet, probably half the pot or greater from our opponent. We have top pair, we can play it strongly, and we miss that bet. If he doesn't have a hand, he's just going to fold. We lost his continuation bet. What else do you lose by c-betting? That's a huge one, but there's a couple smaller ones that we'll talk about now. You lose the chance of check raising. So if you had a set, you might try this with top pair, as we have in the example too. You could check. Your opponent will c-bet, and then you can win the pot right there or have the pot escalate. And if you have a strong hand, maybe if you had ace-king or a set, the donk bet removes the chance of check raising, which is a great way to build a big pot when you have a monster. Finally, you lose the check call. This, of course, is checking to your opponent, so he c-bets, and you calling, hoping that he'll double barrel any turn. So you have top pair. He bets. You haven't won the hand yet, but you won an extra bet into the pot from your aggressive opponent who has the lead. You call out of position. The turn comes, and you might want to check to him again. So he then double barrels, and you can either take the pot down right there with a raise, or you can roll the dice and see the river, try to get a third barrel out of him. In summary, donkey betting makes you lose all your value when you have a good flop out of position and you don't have the lead. So don't donkey bet. Check to your opponent, let him be aggressive, let him get another bet into the pot when he's actually way behind.